Okay. All right. Hey y'all, SAArmato here from SAArmatoArts. Hope everything is good. I hope the lighting is enough. Hopefully, we'll put it. All right, y'all. So, how's everyone doing? We're gonna be using the Santa Muerte Tarot. I'm gonna try out the live feature here on YouTube, and I'm gonna leave it up so this way whoever happens to see this afterwards can do this. I don't expect anyone to come on with me, but that's okay. I'm going to use this since space on phone, trying to figure things out. I don't know if you can edit lives or whatnot, but this way it's there and it's ready for y'all. So it automatically uploads instead of having to wait another 2 hours for it to upload from my phone onto YouTube. I might just have an older version of the phones because I do have older versions, but that's okay. Hola muchachos, ¿cómo les ha ido y cómo les va? Voy a estar haciendo español y inglés, Spanish and English at the same time. Esta va a ser una leída. Usted escoja el grupo 1, 2 o 3. You have to pick a group 1, 2 or 3. I'm going to be like group 1, pull cards, such. Para el grupo 1 voy a sacar cartas. No pienso que nadie va a venir en este chat porque es la primera vez que uso YouTube Live. Y voy a dejar la grabación arriba para que la gente puede verlo después. Esto, cuando usted está viendo este video, es cuando usted necesitaba verlo para escuchar los mensajes de acá. Ok, de todas maneras, estoy usando la SAArmate Tarot. La cajita está bien bonita. De todas maneras, ya está usada, se está quitando todo el gilding. The SAArmate Tarot. There you go. So the gilding is coming off. But yeah, we're just going to say español and English right after one another. So group 1, da 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 da. Grupo 1, ahí mismo. So that way I can do this. I don't expect anybody to come on. But yeah, that's what that is. All right. What's expected? Que van a estar para este tiempo para ustedes. What do y'all need to know? All right. Group 1. Okay, my group 1. I don't know how to do timestamps. I'll just rewatch it afterwards, I think. All right, so thank y'all. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm SAArmato. I hope to help y'all out by doing a reading. My first time on live. So hopefully I put it in the description already and y'all can read that in case. All right. All right. What does group 1 need to know at this time for this reading? Okay. All right, what do I need to know about the card? All right. For my group 1, I already can see that y'all are finally putting forward, that y'all are finally taking movement, right? You're having to do that just because you're noticing that life really is giving you a different sense. Hopefully this can come out. Okay, cool. So we have the 3 of Wands here. El Tres de Bastos. So the 3 of Wands talks about a message, right? It talks about a new beginning, the new steps that you're taking, the actions towards the things that you desire, that you want to do, that you're creating, right? Then we have Justice, major arcana, with your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, your angels, and such want you to know, okay? So the Justice card, whenever I see it, it talks about balance, right? It talks about what are you doing to fix your life? What are you doing to better your life? What are you doing to allow all the things to happen correctly in your life, right? Very much so. Okay, because I see that you were very inactive. Very, very, very inactive, not very going for it, somebody who wasn't pushing towards the things that you wanted, nothing like that. You were literally stuck in almost this. This is the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords are usually where somebody is holding 2 swords and they aren't moving. Sometimes they have their eyes covered, depending on what it is, on which tarot and which oracle that you happen to be reading about. The 2 of Swords usually is where we feel inaction. We feel like we're paralyzed by our thoughts. We don't know where to, a donde pegar. We don't know where to move towards, okay, straight up. So that's what I see for that. But now, because I asked, I was like, why is the Justice here, right? You need to rest when you need to rest. I expect that maybe y'all had burnout. Maybe y'all were going after something so much that it burns you out. And now you're having to descansar. You're having to take a rest. You're having to take some moments. You're having to get better, be better, and worry, check on your health, see what's going on. The good thing is because we have the sun here next to the Four of Swords, it tells me that the rest and the rejuvenation and the burnout actually helped you because your guides kind of put you in a timeout. You were doing way too much. You were super stressed. You weren't allowing yourself to pause. I feel that. If you can hear that, still recovering from an injury. But basically, the rest that spirit had put on you, whether you got hurt, whether you just got burnt out to the point where you were feeling like you couldn't get out of bed, whatever you were doing, whatever was necessary for you, do it. Know that when you start new, right, when you're finally, okay, I feel recovered and whatnot, don't just jump with the most intensity. Take baby steps towards it. Do small things to be able to balance back. Myself, I'm recovering from the injury, right? So I had to take steps. I'm having to do physical therapy. I'm having to do the things. I can't just jump back into firefighting, right? People that know, firefighter EMT, my normal job. So that's where it comes into, right? So if you're having, you might have been depressed, you might have gotten the winter blues, right? Some people, the SAD, right? The seasonal affective disorder, or people who have depression already, then they get like winter depression, or people who happen to have those type of things. Whatever it was, or whether you weren't surrounded by family, you weren't feeling like there was a lot of things around, that's okay, because there are better things coming, right? You're now more in balance with yourself. You're eating better. Maybe you're taking these baby steps to feel better, to be better. So this way, it is a lot easier for you. It is, you take the steps slowly because spirit didn't want you to go head first into the things you've always wanted, because then you just jump the gun. Like, you're always looking for something new, right? So when spirit makes you say, hey, you have to take baby steps towards this, it's like sometimes in relationships or stuff, right? You don't want to jump into just marrying the person without getting to know them, right? You take baby steps towards knowing the person if you ever want to get married, right? And then at a job, you don't just want to burn yourself out within the first 3 months of the job, which is the promotional period, or the probationary period, sorry. And then when it comes down to the promotion period in 3 more months, you can't give your all. You basically worked yourself almost to the point of mental death, right? Not death in the sense or unaliving, but towards exhaustion, right? And then you can't keep up this type of thing. It's basically all around boundaries and such. So that's my group 1 English. Hola, muchachos, ahora vamos a estar explicando lo de español, así más fácil. Para el grupo número 1, seguimos, ¿ok? Porque tenemos el 3 de bastos, está cargando un mensaje. El 3 de bastos es cuando uno está empezando de nuevo, algo nuevo, pero pasitos pequeñitos. Verdaderamente uno no está mirando a tirarse de un balcón de una vez, ¿no? No. Necesitamos tomar tiempo porque tenemos justicia aquí y el 2 de espadas. ¿Okay? Esas son las cartas. La justicia habla que uno necesita tener balance, si no, es como cuando una persona no se cuida. Cuando dije así, estoy arreglando, estamos haciendo terapias físicas para poder arreglar, porque me lastimé en un punto, no con bomberos, si no saben, yo soy bombera y médica, no paramédica, pero EMT en mi normal trabajo, me tocó pausar porque yo estaba haciendo mucho esfuerzo, ¿no? Y eso es lo que vi que ustedes estaban haciendo muchas cosas a la vez. Espíritu, tus guías te pusieron en pausa. Puede ser que usted que te sentías mal en el frío, que verdaderamente con el invierno, ¿no? Cuando llega el frío, uno no se quiere mover, no quiere salir de allá. Estas formas de estática, ¿no? Puede ser que también te heriste, siento, se hirió, ¿no? Y espíritu, tal vez no sea tan malo, pero espíritu te hizo, tus guías hizo para que usted pudiera tomar pausas y arreglarse para no saltar de una vez a todas las cosas que uno desea tener. Cuando uno, yo usé los ejemplos de que cuando uno empieza un nuevo trabajo, ¿no? Si usted se mata trabajando, pero uno a otra vez, ¿no? Y te trabajas horrible de duro, tirándose del balcón, haciendo todo, que te preguntan todo. Después estás que quemas la energía suyas y ya estás exhausta, pero emocionalmente, sentido, todo, mentalmente, y uno dice, ay Dios mío, usé quemé todas las pilas, pues, todo entre meses cuando uno está cuando te están mirando si queda usted en el trabajo, ¿no? En esa forma para promoción, no para promoción, pero para usted quedarse con el trabajo, ¿no? Uno quiere mostrar que sí, 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 verdaderamente estoy haciendo todo lo necesario y voy a ser un buen trabajadora o buen trabajador y todo, ¿no? Pero cuando uno sigue, pero de una, se tira al balcón, pues, se tira y hace todo de una vez y no tienes momentos de decir, mira, necesito tomar descanso, necesito entender que no puedo hacer todo a la vez, sino no solo me quemo las pilas, me quemo la mente exhausta, sentir verdaderamente que uno no puede seguir, ¿no? Y eso significa que necesitabas este descanso. Siento, no le mostré. Estos son las 4 de espadas. El 4 de espadas es cuando uno necesita descanso, pues de que se uno enferma, uno está no sintiendo tan bien, se hirió, o solo uno sintió depresión en este frío para la gente que está alrededor de nieve, o si uno está allá y verdaderamente no es lo mismo, ¿no? Aunque mi mamá es colombiana y todo, y siempre hay fruta todo el año cerca de donde ella es, ¿no? Ah, pero de todas maneras no se siente lo mismo que cuando es verano, que cuando es invierno, ¿no? Los tiempos cambian, es más frío, hay más viento que hasta duele a todo, ¿no? De todas maneras, eso es lo que estamos viendo, que hay muchas cosas que ya están viniendo. Tengo el sol acá. Y verdaderamente la razón por qué necesitabas tomar este descanso es para usted entender sus limitaciones, sus límites. ¿Límites? Siento, mi mamá me va a corregir después. Pero los límites de uno, porque si uno se empuja y basta casi matarse por, aunque sea en un cita amorosa, ¿no? Uno va en citas, uno va por pasitos a conocer la persona. No de uno se casa, pero ahí mismo sin conocer la persona, sin saber cómo son, sin saber quién es la familia que uno se está metiendo con. Uno toma pasitos. Eso es porque lo que se te está mostrando al grupo 1, a ustedes. Verdaderamente necesitas saber que hay muchas cosas que vienen, hay todo ayuda y todo va a salir bien porque aquí está el sol. So, las guías suyas querían que usted tomara más, ah, tomar sus tiempos, saber sus límites y no brincar y saltar del balcón, pues saltarse al océano de una vez, ¿no? Uno va y pisa y mira, sí, todo está bonito con el mar, ok, tal vez voy a nadar un poquito, pero uno no se tira de uno sin mirar al agua, ¿no? Así, eso es como te estoy diciendo. Hay muchas cosas que ya vienen, buenos. Toma los pasitos pequeños, entiende sus límites. Y yo sé que usted estaba sintiendo que tenías mucha inacción, pero hay momentos que uno necesita tener eso. La vida viene en etapas. ¿Okay? Hay tiempos cuando uno tiene mucha energía y puede gastar todas las pilas sin problema y tiene mucha energía. Pero hay otras veces cuando uno necesita saber que no puede estar gastándose sobre más de lo necesitado porque en este tiempo tal vez no tienen la energía, te puedes ir. ¿Ok? De todas maneras, que se cuidan, que todo está bien ahí. Ok, so la 13:55. Ok. No sé cómo hacer las tampillas en live. Esta es la primera vez que estoy haciéndolo en YouTube. So ahí vamos para eso. So eso fue mi grupo 1. That was group 1. All right, let's go for group 2. Okay. Group 2. All right, this is going to be the English group 2, and then español sería después para el grupo 2. All right, let's do this. Okay, what does group 2 need to know? No. Okay, 5 cartas. Yo fui la una que pinté el azul sobre las cartas. I did the blue gilding pen because I love it. It matches her. Okay. De todas maneras. All right. Anyways, let's Let's do this. All right. So for my people, we have a lot of emotions for my group too. Okay. That's really what's taken center stage kind of in your life at the moment that you happen to read this. Okay. Or like right before you read this or right after you read this. Sometimes people tell me that they hear a reading and then they're like, oh, that's not happening right now. And then like a week later it happens or something else. Or, oh, shoot, this happened like 2 months ago. Thank you for the advice now. Almost everything that I have is timeless. That's just how it is. But anyways, let's go after here, okay? Why I say that is this is the 9 of Swords. Okay, let's see if I can show you better. Okay, there you go. All right, 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords, as you can see, they have a book that's closed. They have almost this contraption around their head that kind of keeps them pinned and keeps them worried. This is over the skeletons, right? Santa Muerte and skeleton people, right? It's beautiful. It's such a, like, I love the artwork format. I wish I could have these like forever laminated. Like, it's a thing. But anyways, when I see the 9 of Swords, what is going round and round and round in your head? This is why I say it's taking center stage, because not only that, I have the 2 of Cups and I have the Knight of Cups. Okay, lots of cup energy. Beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. Okay, beautiful. So the 2 of Cups tells me of a new relationship. It doesn't have to be emotional. It doesn't have to be like relationship, as in romantic partners, right? It doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but it can be. And I feel like it might be. Okay, for a lot of y'all, it is romantic because we have the Knight of Cups, right? Somebody bringing you romance, somebody asking, hey, can I take you out on a date? Hey, can we date? Hey, can we go out? How are you? I don't know. It's like that, okay? And this kind of mental headspace that you're having is almost like the clamminess in your hands. That's what I'm feeling right now. And that's out of nowhere. But I feel like you have a clamminess in your hands and you're like, do I date again? Because you probably had a relationship that was rough at the very beginning or right before this. Or it can be that you're like me and you've been 4 years without in a relationship that's solid, right? You're like, oh, I got on dates and that's enough because we don't want the long-term commitment because that didn't happen very good. For others, it's going to be like, I want a long-term relationship, but my last one wasn't good. Or you're like, I can't seem to get into long-term relationships. Or, oh, I seem to need short-term relationships because every time I get into a long one, I worry about it. Whatever sense of the form that it is for you, right? It can be that you're actually in a relationship and you get an offer somewhere else and you've thought about leaving that. It can be that you're in that type of relationship. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're meeting someone new and you're like clammy and you like this person and this person's like riding towards you and they're like, hey, are you going to go out with me or not? And they kind of threaten to leave maybe. Like, oh, are we going to date or should I look somewhere else? Maybe because you've been so locked up in your head that truly, very much you're like, can I go for this relationship? And I will say that we have the 10 of Cups here. And the Page of Swords. Okay, I love the 10 of Cups. The 10s in this deck are beautiful. They talk about the different parts of the body. How this is the rib cage, which holds the heart, and then there are all these beautiful blue flowers, and the home, and the desire, and the wishes, right? I have the Page of Swords, communication, okay? So why I say this, and that this person somebody's not getting the communication they want. And the other's like, maybe I'm going to take that as a sign that they haven't talked to me, right? The other person towards you or whoever the masculine energy is, right? They've been like, hey, are you going to go out on a date with me? And you might have been like, yeah, no, and non-committal, right? The non-commitment and such for this group. Or you're locked up in your head and you're like, can I commit? Is that a good idea? Is this a person? I don't want to get hurt. You're up in your feelings and you're up and you're letting your brain decide your heart, which is sometimes good, but in this sense is not so great because you're letting it keep you from a happy relationship or from at least enjoying someone else's time. Okay, what I mean by that is this might be that you start dating and you're like, oh well, I kind of don't want something serious, but I like being with them. See where it leads you, because there's happiness here. Okay, I didn't just get the 2 of Cups, which is la pareja, the relationship, the person who's trying to bring you the relationship, and then the 10 of Cups. This is somebody who either on one side, for a couple of you, I can feel that, like, one person, you might be like, oh, but are they serious? And then a lot of y'all have noticed that this person does. They talk to you every day. Or you are very, do I talk to them? Or they don't seem to talk to you every day, but they kind of appear out of nowhere. They visit you at your work. They visit you here. They're trying to conquistarte. They're trying to woo you. That's the English term for it, right? Having some communication and talking clearly and saying, yes, I want to be something serious. Yes, I want to be your girlfriend, or yes, I want to be your boyfriend, whatever, right? Or person, okay? But basically having some type of form of communication is necessary. Get out of your head, right? Just straight up get out of your head, because these nightmares and these dreams and the whatever is going on, if you just talk about it, it will clear the air, and you can say, I want a long-term relationship. If you want these same things as I do, and we kind of match up, yes, let's go for a long-term relationship. That's how I say it. I'm very big in, like, if y'all both communicated and you have one thing and this is your dreams and the other person has these dreams, and if they mesh well, then start dating and seeing, because you have kind of the reflection of what you want. Is kind of the same mirror reflecting itself. For other people, they'll be like, oh, so this person does want a long-term relationship. Okay, let me see how I can do that, right? Because sometimes what happens is a lot of masculine, right, energy people, right, or males or men who are on this 2D plane, right, because that's where we are, well, the 3D plane, this on the plane of the earth, right, because I see the dead and stuff, and it don't happen like that, okay, in the dead. But a lot of them feel like if they don't have the monies to be able to support you, right, that they can only offer love, that they aren't deserving enough to have a long-term relationship with you, or to make these dreams en el cielo, right? Having these little dreams and giving you these dreams, right? But it can be that this person, through them really wanting to be with you, if they're motivated to get their life together, would you take them then? Just have that conversation. Be like, hey, I see it like this and such. And this conversation for a lot of y'all is going to go well, because you have that conversation and that communication right there. And then you're like, okay, I'm willing to do it, but you have to prove it to me. Get them to woo you. Get them to conquistarte. Bring you flowers and shit, like whatever you into. Can be into, like, I really do not recommend. I heard knife. Don't let somebody give you a knife, because you got to pay them for it. Okay, that's a superstición colombiana. You gotta pay somebody if they give you some type of metal. Okay, it's a thing, and we're not talking jewelry. We're talking metal, like knives and stuff. And usually, if somebody's giving you a knife, buy your own dang knives, because that brings in a separation of energy, and that's we always joke that that's very, very, very brujeria of us, very, very little brujeria and brujita things. As somebody who's very much in that type of family, they're like, oh, you and your superstitions, but no knives, in case, all right? But just cut to the chase, go to the things, talk to each other. If you say, hey, I want something long-term, is that what you're looking for? You at least get your answer, right? But anyways, I feel like I've beaten the dead horse over here. Relationships, you have the opportunity, you have a new love coming in for a lot of you, or this love that you've kind of looked at finally makes a move. Accept it if you want it, okay? Don't just freeze and be like, I don't know what to do. No, we accept it, okay? We gotta be doing this type of thing. So my group 2, all right? Ahora, para español, para el grupo 2. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Para el grupo 2, hijo de madre. Okay. ¿Qué es esto que esto? Bla, 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 bla. ¡Siento! El 9 de espadas es lo que tenemos acá. El 9 de espadas, como ves que tiene una contracción como alrededor del cerebro que lo tiene, pero puesto que está froseado, no puede moverse, sino tal vez le pasa más cosas, ¿no? Tal vez se hiere, tal vez se causa más problemas, pero encima de eso el libro está cerrado y está mirando al frente. Cuando yo veo el 9 de espadas es cuando uno siente que no puede ir a ningún lado, pero no estática como el 2 de espadas. El 9 de espadas habla de los pensamientos que estamos pensando y pensando y pensando y pensando y pensando tanto en las cosas que no son buenas, aunque no han pasado, ¿no? Las preocupaciones que no salen, ¿no? Las cosas que, ay, estoy preocupada que tal vez este tiene otra o tal vez... Oiga, eso no es lo que estamos hablando de eso. Específicamente no es lo que estamos hablando, ¿ok? Especialmente porque, digo esto porque la relación, ¿no? Porque tenemos el 2 de copas. Esta es la carta que yo llamo de la relación en este tarot, porque mira tan bonita que es. El 2 de copas y tenemos el caballero de copas. ¿Ok? El caballero de copas, ¿qué significa? Te están trayendo una oferta de amor. Esta persona lo veo bien diferente, como si hay opciones, como tal vez tienes para escoger entre dos. Yo no pensé eso en inglés. Eso significa que para mí, mi latino, para las personas que hablan español, eso puede ser para una persona específica. Pero para muchos de ustedes piensan en lo amor, pero usted dice, no sé si esta oferta es genuino, si esta persona verdaderamente es honesto, solo tal vez me quieren pintar pajaritos en el cielo y verdaderamente no me pueden mostrar lo verdadero, ¿no? Pero eso no es verdad. Tenemos el 10 de copas, ¿ok? Amo este tarot con la Santa Muerte porque cada uno de los 10 tiene una mariposa y la mariposa en las diferentes representaciones del cuerpo y muestra este color. Amo este azul, verdaderamente tan bonito, pero de todas maneras tiene corazoncitos ahí, todo. Pero de todas maneras muestra las costillas, porque eso es donde sostiene el corazón, ¿no? El 10 muestra las infinitas posibilidades, nuestros deseos, nuestras ideas, lo que uno no solo desea, pero quisiera tener. Y verdaderamente, ¿y cómo se dice goal en español? La, ay, ok. De todas maneras, estamos en vivo, no puedo pasar si no corta el video. De todas maneras, voy a recordar la palabra en como 3 minutos. Espérame, eso pasa. Me pasa a mí, ya sé. Mi mamá después me dice, tiene el español tan chueca, ¿qué es esto? De todas maneras, también tengo el paje o la sota de espadas. ¿Okay? 2 cosas de espadas aquí. ¿Okay? Esta relación es alguien nuevo que está llegando a tu vida o alguien que ha estado hablando, que ha salido en una cita, no sabes si verdaderamente lo quieres mayor, ¿no? Verdaderamente. Esto es una persona nueva. Y la cosa es que no tenemos muy buena comunicación acá. Verdaderamente veo con un poquito de comunicación, eso arregla la cosa, porque veo que este caballero está como hiriendo a otro lado, que verdaderamente tiene los deseos, pero sigue mirando, ¿no? Puede mirar. Sigue mirando atrás como verdaderamente usted no me va a aceptar mi amor, no vas a aceptar mis deseos de estar con usted, que todo, verdaderamente, porque ellos vieron una vida con usted. Verdaderamente, eso es una de las formas de decir. Pero puede ser que usted tuvo una relación pasada que verdad ay. Uf, ayudando arreglando eso porque pues estamos sanándonos. Pero eso no es. Otra vez, leída. Ok. Verdaderamente, usted tal vez ha tenido una relación fea anterior. Puede ser que hasta ha sido muchos años atrás que no has tenido un amor sólido, no has estado verdaderamente de novios, saliste de un divorcio, algo, ¿no? Algo pasó y verdaderamente estás en esta idea, en este momento, en estos pensamientos, en estas cosas que verdaderamente estás dejando que todas las preocupaciones salen de tu mente. ¿Qué tal si esta persona me sale como el anterior? ¿Qué tal si esta persona también es abusivo o sale peor? Como va el dicho, voy a Guatemala, Guatepeor, no, no, por favor, gracias. El dicho colombiano que decimos, ¿no? No vamos a hacer eso. Especialmente porque espíritu una veces te da exámenes o te da... Ay, no recuerdo cómo se llama la palabra ahorita. Ay, una vez sale así, pero una vez uno siente que el universo trae cosas y uno dice, eso es verdad, puede ser que está muy bueno y esto no es la verdad, puede ser que esta cosa parece oro, pero no es, ¿no? Parece a las cosas muy buenas, pero uno no lo conoce verdaderamente, o solo lo conozco de un mes o algo, o tal vez verdaderamente todo se puede arreglar. La solución que usted tiene es tener la conversación. ¿Ok? Tener conversación, tener comunicación. ¿Ok? Verdaderamente esta persona va a comunicar con usted. Verdaderamente no quiere estar saliendo conmigo, pues mejor me voy, o algo. Puede ser que con solo una conversación usted dice, mira, estas son las ideas que yo quiero para mi vida. Verdaderamente, estos son lo que yo deseo. Deseo tener familia, tener hijos, o si usted quiere tener hijos, si no quiere tener hijos o algo así. Yo deseo tener un perro, la casa, todo, todo pues. Como usted desea, imaginas tu vida. Habla. Porque si usted está diciendo, mira, esto es como yo deseo tener, a tener las cosas y yo quisiera tenerlas así, ¿no? Quisiera estar en este lugar, quisiera estar en Estados Unidos o estar para mis colombianos, quisiera estar en Palmira y eso es donde deseo a tener mi vida, no, lo que sea. Teniendo estas conversaciones, usted puede ver si los deseos suyos son iguales o como un espejo reflejan las del otro, de la pareja, de la otra persona que desea ir con usted. Verdaderamente, te digo de una de las cosas que uno habla de, especialmente por la energía masculina, la pareja o la persona o sea, que tiene esas energías al frente, ¿no? El hombre, todo. Casi siempre, muchos masculinos verdaderamente piensan, si yo no tengo la plata necesaria para poder, no soportar, pero para poder apoyar y darle todo lo que ella desea. Yo no pienso que puedo salir con ella porque yo soy un pobre o verdaderamente yo no gano mucho. ¿Cómo voy a agregarle a la vida? ¿Cómo le puedo comprar una casa? ¿No? Hay muchos hombres que son así. Eso es como son cuando no confían en ellos mismos, cuando no están en la energía que necesitan estar, ¿no? Pero mayoría de los hombres, si verdaderamente quieren, quieren y hacen todo, cambian el mundo, van patas para arriba para hacer todo lo que necesitan hacer para poder sacar o hacer lo necesario. Puede ser que esta persona no puede mostrarte que tiene mucha plata ahorita o puede mostrar que solo tengo el amor, estoy creciendo, estoy trabajando, es honesto, algo así, ¿no? Pero esta persona quiere darte la vida, quiere darte todo lo que usted desea y tal vez si usted le da el chance, verdaderamente, él se arregla la vida. Dice, ok, yo voy a hacer más plata, voy a hacer lo necesario porque me quiero casar un día con él, con la muchacha, con la señora, ay, la bonita que me dijo que sí, ay, Dios mío. Va a tener como energía que puede ser que verdaderamente él se arregla la vida. Ok, usted dice, mira, usted quisiera eso, pues demuéstramela. Deja al que te coquetea, deja que verdaderamente trae flores, te saca, te chuchumeca. Ay, Dios mío, eso no, ¿cómo se dice? Pero cuando verdaderamente te aprecian, te dan regalitos, puede ser que él no tiene mucha plata y te trae unas florecitas de al lado ah, de los caminados, ¿no? Puede ser que él no tiene pa flores, pero te trae frutita o te trae algo. Verdaderamente esto desea que tal vez esta persona es joven o verdaderamente nunca han tenido la razón para arreglarse en la vida. Ok, puede ser eso también lo que está pasando. Pues de todas maneras, tengo muchas cosas aquí. Solo tenga la conversación porque usted paralizada en tu mente, todo, solo pensando en todas las preocupaciones y todo lo malo que pasa, nunca trae lo bueno. ¿Ok? Verdaderamente. Deja que verdaderamente el amor está aquí al frente. No salí con el dos de copos para nada. Verdaderamente. Por favor, dale un chance o tenga la conversación y después hagas tus decisiones. ¿Ok? Gracias. Ay, muchas gracias. Ahora vamos a hacer el grupo 3. Now I'm going to do group 3 in English. All right, I hope that this comes out okay. Oh. All right, y'all. All right. Grupo 3, third group. Let's do English third group. Thank y'all for your patience with me. All right, what does my third group need to know for at this time? Oh, let's see. All right, what is this? Doo-doo. Anything else? Woohoo! Oh, damn, okay. So, all right, y'all. So, is this you? Or is this the date? I gotta ask. This is the King of Cups here. As you can see, he's a drinker. He's a drinker. All right, y'all. So, for my group 3, how are you doing? I hope you're doing... You're not doing so good, are you? All right. Let's be real here. Okay. So, I want to know what happened. Why you got all these cards? Jeez. Okay. We got... Oh, man. All right. Let's start just from the beginning. Okay. First things first. We have the Judgment and we have the Tower card. Okay. As you can see, if you watched both of them or whatever, you are the only one with 2 major arcanas right after each other. Okay? And then we have a bunch of court cards. So, all right. First things first, we have Judgment. Okay? What wake-up call did you have to have? Is it related to drinking? Is it related to partying? Is it related to a date? Is it related to the man that you're with? Is this related to somebody who's very emotional in your life? Like, come on, who is this? Especially because I have 3 men. Okay, these are men. I have the knight. I have two kings and a knight. All right. Either you are the male, either you are a man, or you definitely have been dealing with a lot of men in their life. Can be your father figures and family figures and brothers and sisters and cousins or whatever. But we didn't have a conversation, okay? All right. So, what is this wake-up call about? Because I have the Tower card here. So, did you not get the memo? I know. I sound like I'm grilling the shit out of you right now. But I got love for you. Okay? I got love for y'all, but what is this? Alright, anyways. Now I sound fucking crazy. But anyways, let's roll with this. So we have the Judgment and the Tower. What wake-up call absolutely took your life out? Okay? I'm asking if this is happening right now. And I feel like it is. So whenever you're seeing this, either this just happened or you're at the end of it or you feel like you're just knee deep in it right now. Okay? Judgment talks to me. I love how these cards are. I always love how these cards are. The Judgment is very much what has to die. What has to leave from my life. What has to go because I have received an epiphany. I have finally woken up. Like, I've finally noticed what the hell is going on. Like, something just, it clicked. And probably did, because Pluto just moved, right? Pluto is the generational planet for astrology, right? When he moves, shit goes up the wall, okay? Because it moves for the next 10 years or more. It's like 12 years is like how long he takes to go around the sun, I believe is what it was said. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember how long. Was it 12 years? With the retrogrades and whatnot, I think it's 12 years. Jupiter takes 10 years. Jupiter takes 1 year, but it goes through everything after the 20 years. I'll have to correct myself. I will put some comments down below. I'm going to remember to do that after I take a nap. After I sleep. Because life. Okay, anyways. So, what did we have to get rid of? Okay, I love how the little boy is in the casket and he's celebrating. He's like, I've passed, but death is not the end, my friends, okay? As someone who talks to the dead, as an espiritista, as someone who deals with the dead and such, death is not the end. You still got work to do when you die, okay? But it's a different type of work, okay? It's not... live while you are alive, right? That's the thing. But the living lie, okay? The dead can't lie to you. Conversation for another day. All right. When I see the Tower card here next to it, as you can see, it's this kind of revolving staircase. And it's like, where do you go? Do you go up, sideways, down, up? Everything leads towards the end or towards the skull. Everything kind of goes and it feels like it's all over the place, okay? The Tower card tells me that something had to fucking go, or something is breaking beyond compare. Something that was a foundation, something that you thought would never leave, something that you thought was never going to go. Now, I am at this point in my life that I see the Tower card, and I'm like, yes, let it all burn down, bitch. Okay, straight up. I'm very much like that. For EMT, we don't want things to burn, but it's the work. Anyways, like, I'm just like, when I see things fall at this point in my life, because so much has happened, right? I am older than a lot of people, right? Not a lot of people, but like, I'm a millennial, all right? So let's be real. I'm not Gen Z. I'm not generation, all these other ones. I'm not. So I myself was raised with the end of the 20th and the 21st century. The 21st century. No, we're just in the 21st century. I was in between the 20th and 21st, and we are in the 21st century, right? Or it was at the end of the 21st and the 22nd. I'd have to look it up. But being a millennial, right? I grew up with a completely different point of view and ideals, right? I grew up that there was no phones, right? Back then, there was no real video records of shit until like I got into high school, right? That's when stuff started coming out, right? That's when social media really started taking off, was my high school years. And it was between middle school, nobody really had it. Everybody finally had some emails. None of them suckers work, whatever. And then such. Anyways, with this Judgment card and with the Tower card, we are having some type of epiphanies. You're realizing that this had to go because this was ruining your life, okay? And I'm glad. I'm glad it's going, okay? You might need to cry. You might need to completely feel like, I absolutely need to cry. Remember, as the saying goes, uno ve los toros mejor de la barrera, okay? Me on the outside can see everything that's happening on the inside, right? Whenever I'm doing a reading, that's why it's helpful for me to do readings for people, right? Because they're like, you don't know my situation, but once I read, I'm like, hey, I see this and this and this and this and this, and I can be neutral, right? I am giving you as much as possible. That's what these readings are for, right? So I don't mean to grill you, okay? But this thing that needs to be gone, and this thing that's a wake-up call, you can't just keep pretending like it's not there, okay? I have two drinkers. One taking the sword, right? This is the Knight of Swords. He has the sword going down his throat, right? And this guy has a drink in hand, drowning his sorrows, okay? Drowning his feelings, right? I don't know if this was a relationship, or if this is a job, or if this was a relationship plus a job, if this was maybe it was a marriage and you have money ties together, like you both work in the same business, right? Or maybe you both were dating and you both work in the medical field in the same hospital. Bad idea. Okay, bad idea. Don't shit where you eat. That's what we always say at firefighting. And I've seen it. All sorts of craziness. You can't just keep trying to swallow the things and pretend like it's not there, because it's gonna cut you. It's gonna cause you problems, okay? So with the Knight of Swords, very, very much what it is, right? The Knight of Swords talks about communication. It talks about seeking. It talks about the ideas. It talks about fixing kind of these things in yourself. This is having conversations. The Page is more of like having the conversation and communication. The Knight is like, we have these plans in place, and now we're trying to figure out how to seek them, especially because I have the King of Wands here next to it. And the way that he's pointing, and they almost have the same stance. Okay, I feel like you're just trying to keep moving, and that's not good for you, okay? Not good for your liver. If you're a drinker, if you're not drinking, then you're finding something to drown your sorrows in, some type of, I'm thinking of the Devil card, sex, drugs, rock and roll, is what I always say with the Devil card. It's the things that you know aren't good for you, or the things that you're using to drown your sorrows. Whether some people, it's binge eating, right? You get food problems, right? Related to that. You get emotional eating. Some people, it's not even related to food at all. It's like they work out to the extreme point where they almost end up fucking anemic, because you're working and working and working and working your body out so much. Some people, it's great because you end up in good shape. And for some people, it becomes this form of obsession and addiction almost, where you could end up starting to do, instead of just protein shakes, you're doing steroids, you're doing this, you're doing that. I've seen it go into all sorts of forms, right? Anything to the max, right? Anything not in proportion is bad, right? Too much of a good thing, right? You hear people talk about that. That's what I hear. It's very much like you're doing things, but your spirits are telling you to move it. They're telling you, allow these things to happen so you can rebuild, right? The Tower card, when you see it, usually in the traditional tarot, you see it where it's a tower and you see the little people have fallen off, struck by lightning, and everything's going to hell, right? But the only things that can move, as you saw, that part of that tower is still intact. As you can see, some of these staircases are fully intact. They're going in different places because you had to rebuild around them, right? The foundation and the problems the stones that got loose, the people that you had to leave, the work, the environment, everything that has had to go, right? Because truly, they were loose. They were not meant to be your stones, right? You got prettier ones coming in. You got better things coming in. You do have better things coming in, okay? You have a lot more action coming in, better things, okay? This is the Ace of Wands. You're about to get, this makes sense with the King of Wands. You're going to have to be the creator of your life now. You're going to have to uppercut, fucking get in the hell. The things that don't serve you got to get out of here, okay? You are now in full control of your life, that you can literally kick out the piece of shit that literally cheated on you, if that's what happened. Or you can kick out your boss you could be like, I'm not going to continue working here because this dude's your boss or whatever, and he's an asshole. You can do that. Your work's not going great. You can find another work, right? You might be looking for a side hustle. Who knows what it is? This is very general, right? But whatever it is that you're having to get rid of it. Find better. If you've always been like, I've always wanted to do this hustle in this business, and I've always wanted to do accounting, and I've been stuck in let's just say you've been stuck doing instead of taxes or instead of accounting, right? Or you're like, hey, I've done accounting so long and all I wanted to do is business marketing, right? Well, then go for it. Find ways, okay? Majority of the U.S., I forgot what the statistic was, many, many years ago, back when I was in high school and starting college. So I think it was in 2018 when I was in Texas Tech. Oh, yeah. I remember the status that they said is majority of people have a degree, right? But more than 40% of people don't use their actual degree. They use degree adjacent. Or when you think of adjacent, here, we'll just use this. Instead of being like exactly on the mark, it's kind of like it's over here, right? Or it's like off a tangent. That's more of a word that people know. It's like it's in the same career field or it's not even in the same career field. It's just in the same business, right? And they gain skills and such, and that's what they work with, right? That's one of those things in the U.S. that I know, I forgot what the statistic is currently. I think it was 20% of the U.S. does something completely different. Like they have a librarian degree, and instead of working at a library or such, they're working for, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something else. I'm trying to remember, I remember at one point there was a librarian who was a tattoo artist. I remember her. She was so fun. She was like, oh yeah, I don't have a tattoo business, but I like tattooing myself. And I was like, get it, But like, it's something that's a different career path. I guess I could be your best example. As a firefighter EMT, and I'm doing readings. I always have. I've done readings my entire life and such. And if you want to know more, it's on the page. There's an introduction on the YouTube. But yeah, that's kind of what that is. I really hope that this helps you out. Go for the things. You are the creator of your life. You're about to get a shit ton of energy, and you're going to be like, I'm not going to keep letting myself drown in my sorrows. Which I'm glad for you, okay? Please make sure that you don't just keep pretending like this doesn't exist. That's really what it is. That's why I'm like hounding on you, okay? Because this is what your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, your angels, the ones that work with you, right? Your spiritual help, right? This is what they wanted you to know. That this had to leave because something better has to take its place, right? But the space has to be there, right? You can't you can't grab something else if your hands are full and carrying something, right? Once you let go, then new things can come into your hands. You can grab the new thing, right? I reuse my water bottles, the cats play with them, anything like that. But anyways, that's what it is for y'all. I hope that this helps. Thank you so much for listening. It's SAArmatoArts.com and all the things in the description and stuff in the bottom. All right. Para los de español. Ahora, vamos a explicar mi grupo número 3. ¿Qué es todo esto que ustedes están haciendo? ¿Ok? Verdaderamente, tanta cosa que les ha pasado. Ok. No sé qué ha pasado antes a ustedes, pero ha sido un desastre, ¿no? Ha sido algo que ni lo cree si no lo hubiera pasado a usted y usted hubiera visto con sus propios ojos. ¿Ok? Tengo el juzgado. ¿Juicio? Justicia. Juicio. Siendo. Juicio. Como puedes ver, ahí está el niñito. Ahí está el niñito, ya renació después de la muerte. Porque uno no para de trabajar o para de hacer cosas. La muerte es solo un nuevo empezar, ¿ok? De alguien que es un espiritista que ve los muertos y todo. Los muertos nunca verdaderamente se van. Diferentes personas, diferentes formas. El diferente trabajo que tocan hacer después cuando se mueren. De todas maneras, eso es para otro video, ¿ok? Pero ahorita tenemos el torre y el juicio. Estas dos son mayor arcana. Mayor arcana significa esto es lo que tus espíritus, tus guías, tus ancestros, tus ángeles y los que están alrededor suyo quieren que usted sepa. ¿Okay? Estos son las temas. Quisiera usar algo, pero sonido. Las temas o las temas. Ok, pues son las cosas mayores de tu vida, porque son mayor arcana. Mayor arcana son las diferentes sistemas, las formas, las cosas mayores que colorean la vida para usted, las cosas que verdaderamente tus guías quisieran decirte. Todo esto que te está pasando, ya viste por qué pasó, o verdaderamente ya viste que no puedes esconder de las cosas que han pasado, ¿ok? Cuando estaba hablando inglés es porque verdaderamente ustedes han estado tratando de actuar como si nada ha estado pasando, ¿no? Actuando que, verdaderamente, no está pasando nada. Ya no puedes hacer eso, ¿ok? Este está tomando una espada, ¿ok? Este es el caballero de espadas. Y este es el rey de copas, tomando para quitarse sus emociones, ¿ok? Verdaderamente, cuando veo estas cartas así, usted ha estado tratando como la carta del diablo, que significa sex, drugs, rock and roll, sexo, las drogas, y rock and roll, y todas las cosas que no son buenos para uno, ¿no? Las consecuencias. Eso es lo que me está apareciendo. Usted está tratando a diluir o a beber para quitarte las emociones o a no pensar en los problemas o las cosas que se están quebrando al frente suyo, lo que sea, si sea un amante, si sea una persona. Puede ser que usted es un hombre o puede o masculino, o puede ser verdaderamente usted está estás arreglando, o verdaderamente esto pasó con un hombre que es bien bebedor o algo así, bien enamoradizo, algo así. Verdaderamente ya viste que no puedes seguir, o estás viendo que verdaderamente no puedes seguir solo actuando como nada está pasando. Te está dando problemas de garganta, actuando como verdaderamente, no necesitas hacer problemas de garganta a todos. Puede ser que verdaderamente sientes que estás muy destacado, que no puedes hablar, que verdaderamente no puedes actuar como la vida es todo perfecta, ¿ok? Para mis Virgos que tal vez están acá, ¿ok? Los sentimientos de Virgos que porque toda persona tiene en astrología todos los 12 casas, o las 12 secciones de la carta natal, astral, cuando uno nace, ¿no? Pero si tienes algo en Virgo, puede ser que usted siempre ha querido mostrar a toda la gente que estás bien. No, 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 estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien, aunque estás sufriendo. Pero verdaderamente ya no puedes hacer eso. Y está ya casi, está público. Verdaderamente eso es lo que estoy viendo. Es que está público o ya verdaderamente te toca decirlo público. Puede ser que estás pasando por un divorcio. Verdaderamente ya necesitas cambiar de trabajo. Verdaderamente tal vez estabas casada o saliendo con la persona que trabajabas con, ¿no? Uno no debe de cagar donde uno come, ¿no? Uno no caga en la misma mesa donde uno come, ¿no? En la forma, siento. Verdaderamente no puede estar, yo siempre digo, porque soy bombera en EMT, ¿no? Yo no saliera con nadie de mi departamento, ni de una estación a la otra. Porque si lo hace, después sale mierda. Porque verdaderamente, ¿qué tal si a usted le toca moverse a esa sección? ¿Qué tal si no salen bien? ¿Qué tal que todo es? Todas las cosas que pueden pasar, ¿ok? Mejor quedar trabajo y amor separado. Lo privado y lo del trabajo es el trabajo. Puede ser que verdaderamente necesitas salir del trabajo de todas maneras porque tienes un jefe o una jefa que verdaderamente te hace la vida cuadritos, pero cuadritos feos. Puede ser que verdaderamente usted estaba actuando así, me gusta estar trabajando. No, no, no te gusta el trabajo, ¿ok? Verdaderamente, no me puedes mentir, ¿ok? Verdaderamente tal vez has tenido la idea de siempre has querido empezar su propia, no empleo, su propia, quieres ser empresario o empresaria, quieres vender algo que haces, o puede ser que usted quiere hacer cosmología, o puede ser que usted siempre ha hecho contaduría, pero quieres hacer más marketing, quieres trabajar más con los productos, o quieres ser más de algo diferente, ¿no? Estaba hablando de la estadística que en la época cuando yo estaba en el colegio, en el 2018-2017, verdaderamente estaban diciendo que en Estados Unidos 40% o 30% de las personas no estaban usando exactamente la carrera que ellos fueron a la escuela para. Ellos hicieron algo adjacent, algo como un tangent, algo en la misma sección. Si uno hace contaduría o tal vez hiciste marketing o tal vez hiciste algo con business, algo con empresas, ¿no? Empresarios y verdaderamente usted dice, pues no quiero hacer contaduría porque eso es lo que sacaste de tu bachillerato en eso, ¿no? Dijiste, tengo de contaduría, pero te tienen haciendo algo, tal vez trabajando y haciendo escritos o trabajando con personas o vendiendo productos. Es algo así, que usted tal vez no tiene, no está usando lo que usted se graduó con, la diploma, pues, tu certificado, tu carrera, y estás haciendo algo cerca, pero en la misma compañía. Y verdaderamente usted no ha querido hacer eso, usted quiere cambiar o usted ha sido trabajando en su propia carrera, estás trabajando, si usted sacó contaduría, estás trabajando con contaduría, con contaduría. Pero verdaderamente usted ya no quiere hacer contaduría. Quieres trabajar con vendiendo los productos o trabajando con los jefes o trabajando más hablando con las clientelas, vendiendo sobre el teléfono, vendiendo en persona, yendo más a los cursos para ser real estate, puede ser realtor, que completamente diferente quieres hacer algo que es completamente diferente. Cita forma de trabajo, diferente sección de trabajo. Puede ser diferente compañía, puede ser diferente en la forma de carrera que ya no quieres trabajar para las compañías, quieres trabajar para usted mismo. Algo así, un tipo de cambio que ya tienes la energía para poder sacar, ¿no? O tienes verdaderamente, ya estás haciendo lo necesario, ¿ok? Porque ya vas a tener la energía necesaria. Estás diciendo, no, ya no soporto este trabajo, no voy a dejar que el jefe o la jefa me van y me hacen mi vida cuadritos, que me clavan aquí, que me clavan allá, que hacen allá, lo que hacen como si me tuvieran como... Ay, Dios mío, como me tuvieran... Siento, no estoy recordando, estoy... Ya pasé mi tiempo de dormir. Ya es tiempo de dormir para mí porque trabajo en la noche. Verdaderamente, usted ha estado trabajando en algún tipo de carrera y ya no quiere seguir ahí. O estabas con esta persona enamorada y todo, pero ahora ves que la persona es muy contento, muy ojo contento, ha salido con alguien más. Verdaderamente te han tirado al lado, algo así. Es algo desfortunadamente que usted necesitaba tener. Yo verdaderamente, siendo un espiritista y siendo de la edad que estoy casi en los 30, ahí estamos, verdaderamente cuando pienso de la torre, ya estoy en la época que, se está cayendo esta persona en mi vida, adiós, que se quema, vaya, adiós. So, ah, verdaderamente lo pienso así, ¿ok? Porque verdaderamente puedes ver todas las escaleras porque no van directamente a donde necesitan, ¿no? Es porque las cosas han caído y han construido algo más, reemplazando las partes que se han ido de la vida, verdaderamente. Eso es lo que hace el torre. Cuando usted mira en el normal tarot, usted mira y el tarot, en el tarot, el torre tiene un pedazo de la torre que está parada, pero ha llegado un rayo y ha sacado las personitas y todo el pedazo de encima, ¿no? Las partes que son sólidas y la fundación que siguió, eso es esos son las cosas que usted necesita en la vida y te ayuda. Pero las cosas, las personas, los trabajos, los amantes, todas las cosas que no sirven, o amigos, familia, lo que sea, esas cosas que no sirven para uno se van cayendo, se van hiriendo. Y aunque uno puede dolerle, porque verdaderamente eso es lo que pasa, uno siente, tuve un cambio extremo, quién soy, todo esto, eso puede ser lo que te ha pasado, pero ya necesitas tener esta energía que te ha salido del as de bastos, ¿ok? Para de pensar que puedes tomar y tomar o comer o quitar tus emociones, no. Miras emociones y dices, ¿sabes qué? Voy a usar estos como propina, como propane, como gasolina para prender el fuego y seguir haciendo las cosas necesarias. Verdaderamente. Uf, ya ha sido más que una hora. Pues eso es lo que te digo. Las cosas que han pasado y las cosas que han sido terribles que te han pasado y que verdaderamente ni la veías que iban a pasar, es por tu bien, porque esas cosas solo te iban a causar más problemas más adelante en el tiempo. ¿Okay? Ya no puedes esconderlo. Va a salir a la luz, pero usted es el creador de tu vida. ¿Ok? Este es el rey. Dos reyes. Dos reyes. El rey de bastos. Y aquí salió bastos otra vez. Toda la energía. Usted dice, ¿sabes qué? Voy a salirme de esta mierda. Voy a salirme de este trabajo. Voy a salirme de este amante que no me sirvió para nada. O lo que sea, y verdaderamente voy a seguir valorándome yo misma. Voy a hacer las cosas que quiero y lo que cae, cae, que se vaya de mi vida. Verdaderamente. Eso es lo que te está diciendo, ¿ok? Siento que me tocó todas estas vueltas para poder hacer más concisa al final para tu mensaje. Pero eso es todo lo que tengo para el grupo 3. Respira, tenga estos tiempos y esta energía que tienes, úsala para algo productiva, para usted misma o mismo, ¿ok? Haga las cosas necesarias, no dejas que sigues pensando que solo hablando cosas. Y verdaderamente así, haga tus planes y haga la acción para que los planes sirven, ¿no? Para que lo que usted ha planificado ya se pone en movimiento y empieza a trabajar en la vida. Eso es lo que veo. Okay. Muchas gracias por su paciencia conmigo. Thank you for your patience with me. I hope you have a great one. Que les vaya bien y les deseo muy bien. Si necesitan algo más, todas las descripciones y cosas. Adiós. Bye.